Yes. Take a breath. Hey. I was getting my music tuned up. I was like, oh, this is feels very much like a Whitney type of the day and afternoon as we wrap up our Black History celebration. Tomorrow kicks off Women's History Month. Shout out to all the amazing women who are going to join us for our Women's History Month series. March is also Social Work Awareness Month, Social Work Appreciation Month. So shout out to all the social workers out there. Yeah. Happy Black History Month, y'all. This is our last and final day of Black History Month, but please know that Black History is 365. So we will continue to celebrate all the greatness that is Black History, especially Black History in the making. I am so excited to have you with me this afternoon.
I'm super excited.
What a great way to spend the lunch hour. If you have not got into this conversation, I need you to text your people, get your people on the line. I'm about to send my mass text message out to folks, inviting them to join us for this, what I am certain will be an amazing conversation. So, Crystal, I'm gonna give you a second, shoot some text messages out.
Yep, that's what I'm
shooting some
doing.
messages out right now. Let me see. Make sure we got the right link. Inviting folks in to join us this afternoon. This is probably one of my favorite Whitney songs.
I love them all.
I mean, did you see any of the movies, the new movies with her?
No, I haven't.
Me either. Something in my spirit tells me I'm gonna be too judgmental. I'm gonna have an attitude like,
Yep, I said I'm good.
I've been listening to I have been listening to the Preacher's Wife soundtrack all week long. I don't know what it is about that. I don't know what it is about that soundtrack, but I absolutely love the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. So if y'all ain't listening to the Preacher's Wife soundtrack, like get into it because that soundtrack
I'm gonna have to go pull it up.
Everything. It is the bomb. Okay. So yeah, so get your people in, tag your people, come on, join our conversation. Hey Hector, so happy to see you here with us. Crystal, I am so beyond humble, excited, ecstatic, just a great appreciation for you being here, joining me, wrapping up this Black History Month History in the Making series. So thank you so much. Because I know you are a very busy person and you were able to look out for the little people, getting us in on your very busy schedule.
You silly.
All right, so we're gonna get into it. Again, keep blasting those text messages off, letting folks know that we are in the room, we are here, and we are wanting and appreciating folks for just kind of tuning in with us this afternoon. For those of you who are new or don't know, my name is Tanisha Jointer. I am the founder of Invested Consulting Firm. At Invested Consultant Firm, I support community partners, school districts across the country around trauma-informed practices as well as healing center practices. I am so blessed and honored and humbled even to be doing the work that I do day in and day out. It is truly a pure passion and love of mine. And so I'm so grateful to be able to share with so many folks and impacting the lives of young people across the country. For those of you who don't know, I kind of came into this idea. My team and I, we were talking about what we do to celebrate Black History Month. And what I love about my team is just their endless, like they are with the shits. They are like, yes, let's do all the things, right? And so one of the things that they talked about was like, let's do some Black history in the making. And my first thought was, let me think about who is in my network, right? Who do I know? Who do I have access to? Who is somewhat in my reach? And y'all sent a hootie hoo to all my people. Like, hey, y'all, let's do this. Who wants to? And what it made me realize as I reflect on this last day of conversation is the importance of having a strong and positive network. Your network is your net worth, and truly, truly believe that with all my fiber and all my being. Because again, everybody that you all have seen has been a part of my network. They're a part of my family. They're people that I love, adore, and respect. And these are people who continue to push me forward and motivate and encourage me. So I want to encourage everybody out there: check your network. Check in on your network. If your network is not motivating, encouraging, pushing you to do better, to be better, it's time for some renegotiating the network.
Switch.
So I want to make sure I shout that out first and foremost. Like, thank you so much, Crystal, for being a part of my tribe, a part of my village. Again, I really appreciate your presence. Shout out to Styles by Dave. If y'all don't know him, Dave is super dope. I mean, look at this head, y'all. Dave had this head. I don't even know if it was on his wall or on his person. And I was like, I need that. It's a little too small, but I'm gonna hit it in there. Boom, boom, clackety clack clack. Okay. So Styles by Dave's in Chicago. I want to say Dave's shop is in it's on the tip of my tongue. Bridgeport Art Center. Check him out on Third Friday. Style by Dave's. Amazing, amazing stylist. Men and women. So ladies, get you your good Crystal. He will snatch you up in this good suit. Cause yeah. Anyway. Without further ado, y'all, I'm gonna stop talking. Crystal, I'm gonna invite you to introduce yourself. Tell us about you and just your business and just the floor is yours.
The floor is mine. Well, thank you for having me. Super love you. My name's Crystal. P. Sherrill. I like my middle initial. People like, why you use the P? Because I like it, because it's mine and I can.
Yours. Come on.
So Crystal P. Sherrill, and I am the owner and founder of CPS Company, which is a business operation firm. Now, from the first side of it, I said, I got a business operation firm. Now, that don't sound fun, but let me tell you, it is. It's all about making the thing you love to do fun for you, right? So like that is like the passion and motive behind my business and creating businesses for other entrepreneurs and service-based business owners. So we're a business incubation company where we're helping visionaries. I'm talking about people with the big dreams, the big ideas, the big goals, really conceptualize their ideas and bring them to reality, right? It's like we have so many amazing thoughts, amazing ideas out here, but how do we move them from idea to implementation, right? How do we move them from just a dream and just an afterthought to actually seeing them in fruition, right? So that is what we do here at CPS Company, and we work with service-based business owners and people going through growing. If you ain't growing, then we probably not the people for you, because we're all about growth. Yeah, we're all about growth here. So personal development and professional development in their career change and in their personal lives. So that is what we're doing over here.
I am here for this, like growth part of it. All I was thinking in my head was, this is my season. Because let me just listen. Okay, let me contain myself, because y'all know I will go so left on this conversation. But like, if you are not ready for growth, the readiness that one has to be willing to step into for growth.
Yep. And that's one of the first things I tell people. You have to surrender to the fact that you want more. Like that is like the big part of our consulting process. Our 6-month consulting services for career change consulting is that we take the biggest chunk of working with people of time, surrendering to wanting more. It's like, just say you want more. Don't identify the more yet, but just be okay with saying, I want more time. I want more freedom. I want more money. I want more whatever your more is. But so many people struggle with surrendering to saying, I just want more. Wow. It sounds so simple, but so many people wondering why growth is not happening in certain areas of their life. They just haven't said, I want more. That's it.
Oh, we got to lean into this. This wasn't even on the questions, but we got to lean into this idea of surrendering and wanting more. So I am a vicious, I do everything with just tenacious spirit, and this idea of surrendering freaks me out. Like I like when you said it, it kind of it hit me in the
Make you get
region.
tense, right? Make
Yeah,
you
and
get
it put
tense.
the little,
Yeah.
you're froggy in the throat. Like, wait a minute. But that is so much of entrepreneurship, right? If you want to be successful in entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
Is this willingness to surrender. And I would even say that that applies to so many other parts of life, right? And growth, more importantly. So key takeaway, if y'all just getting in here, send us to 80 of your friends who are in that season of growth. Send it to the folks who need to surrender. Send it to the people who need to surrender and don't even know that they need to surrender, because somebody should be sending this back to me, because let me tell you, I am here for this conversation. Because we're gonna get into it. We are about to get
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this in this next hour or so together. Oh my God, that really, it shook me, because I'm like, that spoke to my core, this idea of surrendering.
Surrendering, and it sounds so simple, doesn't it? It sounds like,
Hmm.
oh, I can no, we're not. We're afraid. We're almost afraid. I think most people are afraid to say that they want more because there's a possibility of it not happening, right? It's just that
Hmm.
50-50 chance. Some
Hmm.
people are greater. But this is how I believe in my dreams and my ideas. Who can hear them in my head but me?
Right.
So like, why can't I surrender to myself that I want more? If
Yeah.
I don't have to confess it to you or
Yeah.
anyone else. They're just mine to have, right? So we have to be okay with even telling ourselves first, not even going into blasting out into the world, but
Mhm.
just telling yourself what you really want, what you really desire. And
Mhm.
then once you tell yourself, this is what I want, now your brain starts to go look for solutions for it. But if
Come on,
you don't even
cognitive
get to
behavioral theory.
come on, if you don't even get to the point of telling yourself that you want it, right? You never go to start looking for solutions. So,
And again, it sounds so simple, right? And now I'm putting on my therapist hat, right? For those of
yep.
you who don't know, I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And as a therapist who has specialized and supported folks through cognitive behavior therapy, that makes so much sense. But now thinking about it with the lens of an entrepreneur, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of the things that I feel like I hear when it comes to people and like, oh, I want to do entrepreneurship, but and the buts and the souls, right? It's just that fear that we hold on to. It's the fear of a failure. For some folks, it's a fear of success. For some folks, it is this we've been conditioned to believe that we have to work for someone else in order to sustain ourselves. All of those fears kind of get in the way of our own self, right? It gets in our way to surrender.
Yep.
So I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you kicking us off with, like, boom, blow your mind. Surrender is the first thing, right?
Surrender.
Surrender
First
is the
step.
absolute first thing. And even I'm thinking about in workshops that I do around self-care, right? Like a lot of the clients that I support are like, well, I don't have time to, I don't have the means to. And it's just like, but we do. We make
What we
time for
do.
what we want to make time for. We come up with the resources for the things that we want to do, we want to have. It's that sense of worthiness and that I deserve.
I
Um,
deserve more.
and
More.
I deserve more. And that is okay. So more is not a bad word, y'all. 2023, this is our year of more. This is our year of growth. This is our year of elevation. Let me try to focus myself,
I
because
know, right?
you done kicked it off so hard. You like, let me kick the dough in. Let's talk about surrender, okay? Um, Another thing that I feel like I heard you say, you bring ideas to implementation. I am a idea maker. I think that is probably what my next career needs to be in. It's just like, you tell me your wildest ideas, I'm gonna help you, play with the thoughts of them, and then we're gonna hire Crystal to get us to actual implementation, because I will dream all day with you.
And there's nothing wrong with dreaming. There's so many amazing things birthed from dreaming, but so many people stop there, right?
Yes.
They stop at the dreaming part and they never just take their dream or their thought or their idea and they never push it out. That's all that happens. And they just stop at that dreaming part. So the dream makers out there like you, right? They sometimes they need an extra push to
Absolutely.
implement it. And they need to see it depending on I have a very analytical brain. So I need to see some steps on how it
Mhm.
happens. And that helps me like move through it, right? It's like it helps me move through it. So dreaming is not bad. You just got to have some steps after it.
So everybody that's out there that are dreamers like myself,
Oh,
um, let's get some actions. Let's put some traction behind that. Now, Crystal, you, if you don't mind, you can you share with us your just journey? Like, how did you get here? Like, how do you stumble? Like, was this a stumble, right? Like, what surrendering did you have to do? I'm gonna use your language now, right? How did you get to this work? Like, this just seems like the dream, like, and to have fun with it. So, can you give us your career journey? How did you get to this work?
yes. Okay. Number one, I had to surrender. Seriously, I did have to surrender to that. I wanted to create more change in the world, and I wanted to have more impact. So I still wanted more. My current position within my corporate job that I've been within for 17 years, it didn't allow me the room to do more. It's like
Mm,
I couldn't, I didn't have a direct impact on the clients that I work with, and I wanted to have a direct impact with the people that I support. I didn't have a direct change or impact in the world I felt like I was creating, and I wanted more of it. So it's like I had to surrender to say, no, you actually want more during this lifetime. So once I did that, oh baby, it was just rolling after that. It was like a domino effect because, and that's why I'm telling people, when you surrender to more,
mhm.
I started to seek out rooms where people were doing the more in, and I started to get in the
Yes.
rooms. And but I didn't do that until I surrendered, though,
Yeah.
because surrendering let me release the fear that inside of these rooms are going to be people smarter than me. Inside of these rooms are going to be people doing more than me. I let all of that go and just went. So I started to get into the rooms with people who were doing the exact thing that I wanted to do, and I started to learn from them. I started to listen to them. I started to pitch to them. I started to do all the things that I wanted, that I started to want to do. It took me some time to figure out what my exact business was. I will say that. Um, so 4 years ago, I started my company, CPS Co. And it wasn't a business incubation company at the time. It was some other things. So, but it took me time to get here to figure out what do I do well? Oftentimes we are overlooking the
Mm.
things that we do so well. If
Yeah.
anybody know me, you know me, you know you,
Yep.
right? I can strategize, I
Yes,
can
ma'am.
organize, I can give you a plan, I can help you make a system to get it done. We can be talking about personal life stuff, right? This is
Mhm.
what you need to do. So then I said, well, that's just what I help people. I do that easily. Now, what type
Mm.
of business do I have if that's
Yeah.
what I enjoy doing? Because I'm passionate when I talk to my friends and my families and my clients and everyone, because it's something I truly care about doing. So, what type of business aligns with that person? And I got a strategic planning agency, right? It was like, I would have never thought that this was what I was supposed to do. And I enjoy it so much. Like, but the reason I enjoy it, and I tell people, stop making businesses just because of what the next person is doing. You need a business. I create passion led business. If your business is not
Yes.
passion led, I'm not here to work. You're not here to work with me, because the longevity of a business comes from things attached to your passions, things that you're passionate about. If I wasn't passionate about this job, the days I didn't want to get up and do it, I would stay in bed, right? If I wasn't passionate about helping my clients, the days I'm too tired, I wouldn't do it. But the passion for what I do makes me get up every day and enjoy it. And I can do it every day over and
Mhm.
over and over again. So, really creating, that was my journey from corporate. It was surrendering, figuring out my gifts, my natural gifts, and then how to turn that into an infrastructure where I could support other people. I just really want to make other people make a lot of money. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it sounds so simple. When I started my business, I said I want to help people make a lot of money, and I wanted to feed families. Like, I wanted to be so I knew I wanted to be an employer, right? So I knew I wasn't a solopreneur because I wanted to have an infrastructure where I could pay people. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. So I got an infrastructure where I can pay people and where I help people make a lot of money. So it was
Come
it.
on, help the people make the money. And this is Black history in the making, y'all. Like, this is why, again, your network is your net worth. This is why that inventory of who is to the left and who is to the right of me is so important. Let me go to my note because I was taking notes. I was taking notes, child. I was like, wanting more, this idea of wanting more, it again, it just, it resonates with me because I think so often folks find themselves stuck and complacent for a number of reasons. I think about, you know, what our families expectations are for us, what our families desires for us are, what our community, you know, exposes us to, or we are not exposed to as a result of community and environment. And how do you still want more in that space?
This is okay. Let me explain to you how I process it with people. I think it's this space between people. It's a space I call mastery in the middle, right? But on to the left of it is gratitude, where I think
Mm,
people don't want to seem ungrateful for where they have
mhm,
come,
mhm,
right? But then they're not content yet. So it's like,
mhm.
I'm stuck. Where am I? Right? Like, I'm not content with where I am, but I am grateful for where I've come. And I
'Cause
think
those can happen at the same time too.
they can. Yeah. And
Mhm.
people don't want to, it's a thin line between the two, though. It's a really thin line. And that thin line is where you master. That's where you suppose, that's like,
Mm,
that's where you, as a, like, dream makers like us and ideas, that's where we play at. That's where we
yeah,
play and create at. Is like, I'm grateful, but I know I'm not content yet, right?
yeah.
And you have to be okay with saying that you're not content. Like, I'm not content. I want to do more, right? And then finding out now, what can I master? What am I the master of? What can I
Mhm.
do? And being okay with owning it. Some people not okay with saying I'm just dope. I'm it. I'm the it
I'm
girl, right?
100% that. Yeah.
Like,
Yep,
some people
Lizzo.
are not okay with saying that. But you gotta become okay with saying I'm the it girl. I'm the it guy. Like, I'm it. Like, so it's so much. Just that's a loaded question. But
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna hold my loaded question, but I want everybody out there to just ruminate on that idea. What is holding you back from more?
mm,
What is holding you from wanting, from believing, from desiring, from chasing, from attaining, from speaking more? What is holding you hostage?
mm,
What's holding you hostage? And how long are you gonna allow that thing to hold you hostage?
man, for real.
So I'm gonna leave that there for everybody to kind of percolate on that and send this to whoever needs to hear this message. You've been telling this to that friend for forever. You've been telling this to that partner for forever. What is holding you hostage? And what are you, and why are we allowing that to hold us? Other things that I heard you bring up that I really just want to elevate for a moment is passion. And I wrote down purpose and passion. Because I think all too often folks, again, like, I want to make a bunch of money, and sure, you can start a business, make a bunch of money, but I think where people fall short is missing their passion and their purpose in jumping into entrepreneurship. Yesterday I had the pleasure of attending lunch with the leader. Shout out to the support group for coordinating this event with a bunch of young people. I mean, it was just a slew of young people in the room, and they had an opportunity to sit at a table with a leader, and I was fortunate enough to be one of the leaders, and I talked about my career journey, etc. And one of the things that I said to my table of young people was, don't worry about the money. The money will come. When you are walking in your purpose, when you are doing things based on your passion, the money will come. You just got to be willing to walk in your purpose. You just got to be willing to do that hard work to figure out, what is my purpose? Where am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be serving? And for y'all, for those of you who may not know that, or you are questioning that yourself, hit up Crystal and her team,
Yeah.
because they're here to help you figure out how to move your business or create a business through your purpose and passion.
Yep. And I tell people, see, I dropped the word purpose. Let me explain why though. I believe wholeheartedly that we all have a purpose to serve. I
Mm.
don't care where the service is. So I think we got to be careful with our words in my opinion. We all have a purpose to serve. I don't care if that cup of coffee has a purpose. It serves a purpose right now, right? I don't care if you drive a garbage truck. You have a purpose to serve the community and keep the community clean, right? I don't care
Mhm.
what it is, but you have a purpose to serve. So if we remove the purpose away, and your purpose is to serve, I think you have some more foundational questions that you need to start asking yourself.
Mm.
Where do I serve?
Yeah.
What do I serve up? Like what do I
What's an
give?
offering? Mm-hmm.
Yep. What am I offering? Who do I serve? Who best benefits from my service? Right.
Mm.
So if we ask more aligned and specific questions like that, we're supposed to serve. We find out where and who and for what purpose, that we're supposed to serve. So that's the easy part. It's your passions. What I think that's where people actually get a little more
Yeah.
confused at is, what are you passionate about? Who do you, when I think of passions, these are some of the common questions we go through. Who would you advocate for if you had the ability? Who would you advocate for? Who would you stand up for?
Mm-hmm.
What joys do you personally find? What joys do you have? What do you just naturally love doing that you could do all day? No complaints. You could talk about it all night long. You
I
could
like
see, you could see.
travel.
Now,
All
come
I
on,
want to
travel
do.
blogger. Come on,
All
travel
I want
blogger
to
in the mix.
do. Sheesh.
But see, like, what are those passions that you like,
Yeah.
right? And if you create a business around things that you're passionate about, again, that creates longevity. So
Yeah.
many businesses don't make it out the startup phase. They never make it to scale and sustain. They never get there because they're still in this grow and building phase, and they fade out
Mm-hmm.
because they're not building a business around passion. They're not building a business around something that they're going to love today, in 10 years, in 20 years. No, they just start, an Airbnb like everybody else doing. I'm like, why are you doing that? Do you even like, I now see that's different for me because I love home decor. Now let's check me. I love home decor. That's my second love. Like, love it. I redo my stuff every quarter. Like, I love
Come
home
on,
decor.
quarterly. Oh wow.
Quarterly wall changes. Like, we are not quarter change around here. I love home decor. If I started an Airbnb, that would probably make sense because I get to like dial up the little places and do the little stuff. But that's it. That's all. And I get about passive income. Don't get me wrong. I love the era of passive income. I want everybody to make money and do the things that they enjoy. But create a business, an actual business around things that you are led, that lead your passions and that like really, really push your purpose forward.
I love it. We're gonna have to do a booklet on finding your passion, some type of education on it. Because I think so many people like literally just don't know. Like we are so
Mhm.
conditioned to do and go that the idea of like what am I passionate about? What makes me tick? What excites me? Like most adults do not have a clue, and unfortunately, most young people, most children, those passions get stifled by systems. I'm not going to name the system, but
All
sometimes
of the
systems,
systems.
right, will stifle your passion. So, um, again, another takeaway, another gem for folks to take away as you're listening to this is what are you passionate about? Where do your passions lie?
Right. Yes.
Crystal, I want us to pivot our conversation a little bit about um you know, everybody is transitioning into entrepreneurship. Everybody wants to work for themselves. I don't want to work for nobody. I ain't got time to work for nobody. I just want to do what I want to do. At my event yesterday, I lunched with the leaders from with the support group. All the young people say, I don't want to work for nobody because I don't want nobody telling me what to do. I'm like, baby, that is life. Somebody gonna always be telling you what to do. Okay, Uncle Sam gonna tell you to pay these taxes. Them credit card companies gonna start repoing and like, yeah, somebody gonna tell you what to do. But anyway, uh, but one of the things that I also wanted us to kind of talk a bit about is folks who are going, from traditional workforce to entrepreneurship. And what I feel like I'm seeing now is this like shift, and even some entrepreneurs going back into the workforce.
Yes.
Um,
Let's talk about that.
yeah, like what thoughts, feelings, what comes up for you? What would you want to say to an entrepreneur who is coming from, workforce to entrepreneurship and now going back to workforce?
Whew.
Sorry,
I
that was a loaded question.
that was. I think I would start by saying, did they start with a plan? did they have a clear plan when they did it the first time?
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't, get a plan. Right, get a plan this time around, right? But that's the common mistake. I'm gonna be honest. We don't plan for this is a big change that you are about to go through. Like your whole world is about to shift, and you haven't planned out how you're going to shift with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How life is going to change, life for your family, finances, um, your habits, your daily routines, like everything is going to do like a big 360 flip, and people haven't prepared for it. So typically people who I see going back into the workforce are people who didn't plan it out correctly. So to be honest, I always tell people how I funded my business with my corporate money.
Come on, talk about it.
And until I had a plan.
Come on,
I had
talk
a
about it.
budgeting plan. I had my savings plan. I had enough money to take care of us for a year. Like I had it all worked out.
Enough money to take care of you for how long?
Close to a year.
Come on, talk about it.
A year. Like I had a plan. So how was I going to make this big change and just jump out there with no plan at all? So I started with a few plans. I had a financial plan, savings and budgeting. Was times getting a little tighter around because I'm like, look, I gotta go here, so I need to plan for going here. We don't go on the trip with no money, right? We don't go on the trip no. So why would I go into this new phase in life with no preparation financially? So I prepared financially, but I also prepared mentally, spiritually. I got really heavy on my spiritual level, just understanding that I do help co-create this life for me. Like this is all like everything that I've seen, every vision, every dream is possible. So I got really in tune with my spiritual path, and that helped me sustain when things get rocky, because they gonna get rocky. They are going to get rocky, and you have to understand that. And you have to be prayed up. You gotta be blessed up and all of that so you can prepare for that. But if people going back into the workforce, what would I tell them? I would be okay. First of all, they need to be okay with going back if they have to.
Yes.
If you have to go back, go back. Go back with your head high. I tried it. I did it. I did something you ain't do. See, that's how I'm gonna go back. If I ever have to go back, I'll be like, but you ain't do nothing. So I don't really care what you're talking about, right? So that I'm okay. I'm okay. Go back with your head held high about it, and actually go into the next season or the next transition back into this thing that if you try it again with a plan, with a more solid plan on how you're going to transition. Write down everything that you learn. I don't believe in failure. I don't believe in failure. Failure not possible for me. I'm gonna learn or I'm gonna win. It's one of the two gonna happen. So write down everything that you learned throughout the journey, the entrepreneurial journey. Write down everything if you could do it differently. Really like sit with yourself and say, man, when I do this again, I know better, right? That's like this when as we get older, we get wiser. It's the same thing. So go back into it next time with a plan and have some clear guidelines on where you personally need to improve, or who you personally need to support you, or like so many things to think about.
I love that it's so much support for people who are coming from entrepreneurship to workforce, right? I think sometimes folks have this sense of, oh, I failed because I have to go back into traditional workforce. And to any entrepreneur out there who has gone back into workforce or is contemplating going back to workforce, do what you got to do, right? There is
keep the lights on. Keep the lights on.
Keep the lights on, keep the kids fed, keep yourself fed, right? Like do what you have to do. But also know, to your point, Crystal, that there is no such thing as I fail. You learn, right? You have learned what didn't work. You've learned what did work. You have learned what connections you need to have. You have learned who do you need to be in relation with. There's so much learning that happens just through the process of doing. I contemplate myself sometimes, like, man, do I need to go back to, work, be a school social worker or a principal or whatever? And I'm just like, I don't know. My spirit say, no, sis, this ain't what you want. But like, if I absolutely have to, I'm going to make sure that I continue to keep my credentials so that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And so to those of you who again are leaving traditional workforce and going into entrepreneurship, make sure you maintain whatever credentials, whatever licensures you have, because you always want to have something to fall back on. That's that preparing part, right? Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. We have to make sure that we are preparing for all facets of our entrepreneurship journey. As I told the young people yesterday, I said, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Come on.
So
Let
when
me
you
tell
go
you.
back into the workforce, right, have that stable income. It's better to be able to have that than to need it and not have it.
And to speak on that, use it. See, I think that's the point. Okay, I know we I'm spending the conversation.
Come on with it.
There's so many accolades and accreditations and accomplishments that we've made in our career journey that we're not even using in our business.
Yep.
It's so many people trying to start this new thing. No, use what you got. Use what you got to get what you want. Like finesse it. I was a product owner, an agile software. It was my last role, software team. I'm gonna keep my product owner certification up to date. But guess what I do in my current business? I help people create products for their business. I do the same thing. I help people take the idea of their product or service and put it into a market, right? I'm still doing the same thing. I didn't drop it because I left my corporate job. No, I'm going to enhance it. Let me figure out how I enhance this role that I had. And that if so many people took what they had from their career and when they transition it into their business, they would have so much more longevity because something about that role you enjoyed. So that's one thing that I tell people to jot down all your past experience, work experiences, and write 1 to 2 positive things that you could take away from that experience. That leads up to your master role in your own company. And I call it the master role because it takes everything that you have created before and puts it into one master role for your own company where it's not defined by titles. It's not defined by role descriptions. I get to be a growth strategist. I get to define what a growth strategist is from my lens. It's my role. It's for my business. And I get to do that. Right. So, don't don't do that. Look, don't do that. Y'all need those. Yeah, we need those certifications and everything that we've worked so hard for. Why let them go? Figure out how to use them in your next. Don't leave them behind.
And like going back into something again, it's okay because I think about if I go back working in schools, all of the training, the connects, the whatever that I can get, that should I go back in and come back out, I'm even stronger. I'm learning new strategies because in certain fields, like the change, the turnover of content and how we do and what we do and why we do what we do is so quick. So getting back in there just to make sure you are abreast of all the latest trends, if for nothing else, that is a win. So big up to all my entrepreneurs out there who have, experienced entrepreneurship. But it's like, you know what, let me go back up in this for a little while. Cause I know if that entrepreneur spirit is in you, it's only for a little while. I'm only visiting here. I ain't staying here long. I'm just visiting, right? But if you got to go visit somebody else's 9 to 5, big ups to you for being brave enough to take that next step and know that we are here supporting you.
Yes. It's okay.
I'm looking at the time. I'm like, I have so many amazing questions. Okay, so real quick for us, Crystal, can you tell us who is your like ideal client? Who would be
service-based business owners, I love service. I love serving people. I love creating businesses that serve. Now, don't get me wrong. Product businesses, they have a need to service too, right? Nike has a need to serve gym shoes. But I really want to help entrepreneurs and people shifting through career change into creating passion-led businesses that fuel their impact in the world, that fuel a change in the world, that creates a transformation for other people.
Mm.
So we work with people who are in the service professionals. Let me tell you, there's a service professionals is who we work with, right? You are ready to create a professional portfolio. And that's the difference. I'm not, shade to anybody else, but you are ready to create a professional portfolio. And potentially you may have to build out a team, right? Like if your dream is big, it can't be supported with just yourself.
Come on, talk about it.
So you have to be open to saying, I may need a team. Who is that team? What team do I need? Like you don't even know all those parts, but you have this big idea and this big dream that you want to see come to fruition. So we just really want to help visionaries and entrepreneurship and service-based business professions align and amplify their life mission through their professional work.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what we do.
Okay. So anybody again on this line, somebody who they got a good spirit. They are passionate about what they do and they are needing to transition that to business. Y'all make sure y'all connect them with Crystal because Crystal is gonna move them. She said, I'm gonna move you from an idea, from a dream to implementation, and we gonna get it cracking. Okay, I'm like, let me try to flip through my questions and see what question. Who has been your greatest inspiration in this work? Because so much of what you do is just passion driven. It is purpose driven. How do you become this person that cares this much about folks' passions and service? Who
Oh
inspires you?
man, my mother. Mm, I wasn't prepared. Look at that. I'm a woman of many words. My mother. She let me explore my wildest dreams. She never
Mm.
shut them out. When I tell people what I do and where I'm at most of the day, I'm in my head dreaming. I was just able to dream. She never made me, if I came to her with an idea, I just thought about some of the craziest stuff I went to her with. And she was like, well, if you want to do that, baby, you can do it, right? So my dreams, she never shut them down. And that is a gift because so many people aren't pleasure with parents that support them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
She literally told me I could do anything, and I believed it, and she made me believe it. Even if she didn't have the means to help me do it
Mm.
herself, she made me feel capable of it, and I just stay in my head coming up with new ideas all day, and then I just toss the ideas to the side and be like, oh, okay, I'll come back to that one. Or I'll give that one to somebody. And that's just what I do all day. So she allowed me to dream, and I'll forever appreciate for her for never like stifling my dreams.
I love it. Shout out to all the parents and the educators who are
Yeah.
allowing folks to dream, who are allowing children and young people to dream. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean that's where the magic is. It's
That's
like,
where the magic happens at. It happens there, right? Now, taking it from there to the next step is something else, but you just got to be okay with dreaming. So that's what I do. And then I never want to stifle anyone else from dreaming. Whatever you come to me with, all right, let's figure out how to make it happen. We have clients that come that want patents. They got not just trademarks and copywriting, they're doing patents. They're creating products to like don't let me stop your dream.
yeah,
Let's work out all the pieces to get you there, but it can happen.
I
Let's
love
just
it.
yeah. So That'll be it.
Dare to dream, people.
Mm.
And so when you think about the future of your company, of your business, where do you want to go? Where do you see
Whew.
this business going?
Jesus.
To the moon.
So we are currently building out all the divisions for our Career Change Institute. So the Career Change Institute is going to be, it's going to be a host of things, but it's going to be divisions, our different divisions that we support one on one, but so we can do it for more for the masses. So our Career Change Institute, I'm super proud of it. I'm super proud of how it's coming about, but it takes people through a slower journey through career change. Because I will say that all of the resources out here, free and they're great, but it's so much of it, right? So it could be, you could become overwhelmed so
Mhm.
easily. So it's like, let's give people a more concise way to move through this very like transitional journey, this very, pivotal point. So our Career Change Institute is going to be the highlights and going to be our new focal point going into 2024. But beyond that, it's so much. I don't even know where to start. You already know it's so much that I want to support. It's so many people. We have scholarships, small business scholarships that we are awarding starting this October. Those will be coming out every October. We have for our institute, and we have some grants that we're going to be giving out is to support people and their ideas, to support your ideas to fruition. It's like, what better way can I help serve people in their dreams, but to give them the resources for it.
Mhm.
So it's a lot coming out.
I love it. So, making sure before we sign off, we want to make sure that people have all the ways in which to connect with you. So, social media handles, website, all of that good information. If you don't mind giving us a spiel on how do people stay connected to you.
Yes, well, we are definitely on Instagram at Crystal P. Sherrill and at CPS and Co. CPS ANDCO. Our website is www.cpsandcompany spelled out.com. And then I'm on LinkedIn. That's why I play. At Crystal P. Sherrill there too. And you know what? We are really getting into Pinterest. So
Come on, Pinterest.
come
I
on, Pinterest.
love Pinterest.
I love Pinterest, and because we're moving into our blog this year, it's called the Pivot Blog, and the Pivot Blog is all about change, change
The
and
pivot
growth, and change is natural. Like we change every day. Like
is
change,
necessary.
it's necessary, it's natural, it's okay. So the Pivot Blog is all about that. So we're just hanging out at a few places recently. So
I love it. And for those of you who may be new to us, Invested Consultant Firm, you can follow us on Instagram at Invested Consultant Firm. You can also find us on the web at www.investedconsultantfirm.com. Yeah. Okay. We're here to do all the things to support
right.
all of the community. I have two last questions for you.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe I'll leave this one. But I asked this one question and then I'll let you wrap up however you see fit. Wanting to know, what are three key or pivotal things you want entrepreneurs to know as we kind of end our time together? What are three key things that all entrepreneurs should know, should do, should have? Folks who are thinking about going into entrepreneurship, what are three key things that folks should know?
Get a plan. Get a plan, right? Get support. You know, you say your network is your net worth, right? And I agree. You have to get the support that you need, and it has to be going towards the direction that you need to go in. So get the right support.
Mm.
So often we are relying on just people that we know, or just friends, or
Mhm.
just family, when that may not be the person that is supposed to take you to your next, right? So getting support, and I would say being okay with change, right? Being okay with change. This entrepreneur world, some days I be on super high, and baby, when it hit low, I be like, oh, can somebody
Oh
pick that
God.
girl up?
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God.
Can't even get myself together.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you have to be okay with the you gotta muster up the energy and have the endurance. And that's why I say get your spiritual journey right before you go into it. Especially if you're a spiritual person, you need to get that right first, because it's going to be some ups and downs that you hit. But you got to be okay. You got to know the downs not going to keep you there though. The downs are not going to stay down there. You're going to get back up again, but it's going to go through. It's like a balance, right? Balance, like go to the left, go to the right, and then you balance out in the middle. It's gonna be, you're gonna have some lows, you're gonna have some highs, and then eventually it's going to come to that balance for you. But you gotta have a little grit. You gotta get through it. You got to fight your way through it. So those are my three things.
I'm thinking, again, something I said to these young people yesterday. I know they was like, this lady and her old lady quotes. I'm like, I never thought I'd be that person. But I surely told them, I say, so here's one thing I need y'all to know. Everybody can't go where you going.
Oh, come on. With the auntie quote.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Them kids looked at me like, well, where am I going? I don't know, but everybody can't go. And sometimes in our change and in our growth season and journey, like we got to be okay knowing that everybody can't go where you going. And so for all the entrepreneurs out there that are thinking about, that are starting, that are talking about, that are ruminating on the idea of starting a business, everybody ain't gonna go where you going. So sometimes you have to be willing to go alone. Sometimes you have to be willing to stand in the gap. Sometimes you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, because it is through that discomfort that the growth, that the joy, that the beauty, that the healing oftentimes takes place. So definitely want to remind everybody out there that everybody can't go where you're going. This ain't their journey, this ain't their road to travel. And so sometimes we got to be willing to travel alone.
Well, you know what? Since we wrapping, you got one more question, or we wrapping up? Because I got another auntie quote for you.
Come on, Auntie Quote, let me hear it. Let me hear it. You know, I'm here
All
for this.
money ain't good money.
Ooh.
Y'all gotta be out here. All money ain't good money. So seriously, I think so many entrepreneurs are jumping out into this world and they grabbing the next thing that they see. All money ain't good money. All money ain't really attached to your purpose and where you're supposed to be going. So I see so many people, and I love all the passive ways to do it, but then you start doing what everybody else is doing, and then you lose yourself in it. Who
Yeah.
are you? What
Yeah.
are you doing? And that's why I tell people, it's not even that you need a business plan, but you need a plan. Like you need a mission behind where your life is going. Forget a business mission statement. What's your life mission statement? What's your life mission statement? Where's your life going? Your business probably going the same direction your life going when you outline it, right? But so many people are starting businesses without understanding where their life going, where their business going, and they get wrapped up into money that is not about what they're about. So all money ain't good money. And that's what we're gonna end right there with the auntie quotes. All money
Come
ain't
on
good
for the
money.
auntie quotes. Anybody that's in here that got an auntie quote, y'all drop that in the chat. For folks who are tuning in later, y'all put that in the comment. Put these auntie quotes out
Old
there,
lady quotes.
because
Old
we
lady
trying to
quotes.
say these young people and ourselves. Because I had to say it to them, and I was like, oh, that's speaking to my spirit right there. Okay,
I had to
all
tell
right,
myself that all last week. All
all
money ain't good
right.
money.
I remember the first time I turned down a client because of that. All money ain't good money. I'm like, who do y'all work with? Who y'all target student population? Oh no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And like I couldn't believe I said no. Like I feel like I'm supposed to in entrepreneurship. Don't say no, collect. No, say no sometimes, because all money ain't good money.
It's not. And what happens is you waste your time there when the people you were supposed to serve, right? That you outlined it if you did it right. Let's see, if you did the plan right, you outlined who you were supposed to serve. And you ain't even serving them because you over there doing this. So they out there still not getting the service. They still don't have what they need. And that helped me as far as it comes to business, because that's one of my life models. All money ain't good money. I don't need everybody money. But for as far as business, it helped me say, like, who do I work with and who works best with me? And it's a equal exchange. This is a transformation exchange. It's
Mm,
not a transactional exchange. So
yes.
we're helping each other transform. Even my clients to this day, they still help me transform more, and I help them transform. So I have to be aligned with them. They have to be aligned with me. So as service-based businesses, we do get to say who we work with. And I think a lot of people get into the entrepreneur world and they need funds, right? Because it's looking a little different. It ain't looking as consistent, and you start taking money from anywhere. So align your business mission with your life mission. If you haven't outlined your life mission, get some pen and paper and start.
Okay. Listen, I'm like, I ain't gonna ask another question. I'm gonna close us out. Thank you everybody that tuned in today. Thank you so much to those of you who are watching this after the fact. Again, my name is Tanisha Jointer. I'm the founder of Investor Consultant Firm. You can follow us on Instagram at Investor Consultant Firm. And I am just so fortunate, so blessed to have the honor and the privilege to know Crystal professionally and personally. And she is wrapping up our Black History in the Making speaker series. Crystal, thank you so much. My team and I appreciate your presence, your expertise, your time and attention to what I feel like is just a necessary conversation for entrepreneurs all over. And so, Crystal, I'm going to leave you with our last words to kind of close us out today. But again, I thank you. I thank our listeners for tuning in, and I thank you all for continuing to support us. Don't forget to subscribe. Crystal, close us out.
Thank you so much for having me and closing out your Black History Month. It's such an honor. I want people to dare to dream. I'm serious. I know it sounds so cliche because I'm like that super cliche person, but it's true. And some of those cliches are they're super critical right now. Like dare to dream, dare to explore yourself, like dare to bring the world your fullness and create something that you're going to be proud of.
Yes.
Create a business that you are going to be proud of, that you're going to be proud. You'll be proud to show your mama. But create a business that you're proud to show your mama. Like create a business that you're proud. Once you're gone, it's still going. Ooh, yeah, right there. We're going to talk about that later.
I'm going to send the video to you.
Once you're gone, it's still going. Like create a business that's once you're gone, it's still going. It's still serving. It's still providing.
Yes.
So that is the true longevity if you're really out here to create change. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Next month, we are going to come to you with some celebrating women who are making history. We are also going to celebrate Social Work Appreciation Month. Each week is a different week. So shout out to all the social workers and the women making history. Thank you so much, Crystal. It has been a pure pleasure.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Bye.